Holy crap, it is chapters like this that make me just know that the author of this manga knows what the fans want, knows how to do it right, at least for me anyway, because this chapter starts off fantastically, getting right to the point with continuing on the struggle that Meliodas is having with his trial, and this is what I like. Of course, we have the other seven deadly sins to worry about, King, Diane, all that stuff. Of course, we have them to worry about. But the big thing right now is getting Meliodas his strength back because he's the motherfucker that is pretty much going to solve all the issues. But he's also the number one issue right now because he does not have his power or anything like that. So they solve the biggest problem first before they even touch on the other characters in the seven deadly sins. Meliodas going through his trial, and of course he passes it, we know this, but of course it's a little bit harder, and I like that it was a little more fast-paced. I really like that they didn't spend a whole chapter going with him having this issue with his trial. I really like that it shows the struggle he's going through. He kind of lets go for a second, realizes just how much he loved Liz, how much she meant to him, and you see him break down, lose control, and then I think he finally, it's, even the druid says this, and Meliodas to a point kind of thought the same thing, where he needs to lose his emotions in order to pass the trial. But I don't think that was it. I think the main thing between learning this trial was not losing or getting rid of his emotions or keeping them under wraps per se. I think it was just breaking down and allow his sadness to take over. I think that was kind of the key on this one. I think Meliodas needed to grieve for Liz instead of just being angry at the world, angry at what happened. I think he just needed to stop and break down and cry. It doesn't sound very manly of me, I know that, but I just think he needed to cry, and lo and behold, he did. We did get to see Meliodas have some nice moments with Liz. We get to see just him spending time with her. We get to see a little more of Liz, just in different environments, and the art was on point. I really liked the art in this one. Felt like a good amount of time was spent. I really liked it. I felt Liz was drawn very, very well, and all the scenes with her were very well done, and I really liked that. But of course, the trial had to come to an end. Meliodas passes his trial just by letting loose, breaking down, and crying, and it was awesome. And of course, when Meliodas comes back to it, he tries to play that shit off like, fuck it, yeah, just whatever. He doesn't want to admit he's crying. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I wasn't crying, no. And then at the end of the chapter is when we get to the other characters, because not only Meliodas getting his strength back is going to be enough, you also do have to rely on the other members of the seven deadly sins, so of course they have to train as well. And it's pretty interesting. It's not going to just be the seven deadly sins. We're going to have some other characters in this as well, because, well, I mean, there's the 10 commandments and there's the seven deadly sins. There's more of them. There's the 10 commandments. There's probably, judging by the name, at least 10. But we get to see, of course, the other seven deadly sins. They're going to be training. But we get to see some other characters return. Hendrickson, of course. I think a lot of people were expecting that. We do know that to an extent Hendrickson is quite the badass, even though he was kind of a douchebag earlier on. But he's normal now for the most part, it seems like. So he's back. And then, of course, the three other holy knights, whose names I cannot remember, Mr. Thunder Guy, Mr. Wind Guy, and Mr. Big Buff Barrier Dude. They are all there to obviously knock the fuck out. But it looks like they're all going to be going to a cave to train in like a druid training cave, I think is how they described it. But overall, this was an awesome chapter. I really liked it. I really liked the concentration on Meliodas and his trial, getting that done and out of the way, because I assume even though Meliodas is getting his true strength back, which they didn't show, and I actually kind of like that they saved that for the next chapter, because as much as we needed the trial to get finished in this chapter, if they went past that and showed Meliodas getting his true strength back and using it or training with it, it would have been a little too much Meliodas and a little bit neglecting the other characters in the story. So I do kind of like that they saved it. They're going to be saving it for a future chapter. Hopefully not too far, but you get the point. And I can't wait till he does. I can't wait to see it. But even though Meliodas is getting his true strength back, I mean, it's obviously probably going to take some adjusting to, since Meliodas has not had his true strength in quite some time. It has been a long while since he's had his true power, so it's probably going to take some adjusting to get used to it again, and he's probably going to have to train himself. Even though we know with his true strength, he's a badass motherfucker, it's going to take some getting reacquainted with his powers, and probably some extra training on top of that just to be safe. You never know. But this was an awesome chapter. I have to give this chapter a solid. You know what? I'm just gonna say I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It was I can't fault again. A 10 out of 10 doesn't mean it was a perfect chapter. There are definitely some things that could have been better, but for what the chapter did, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. It was a really good chapter. I felt like it concentrated for the most part on all the right points and cut it off just perfectly to give us a reminder that, oh, the other characters are here and they're going to be doing stuff as well. I really like this chapter. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any ideas on how I can make these videos better, just let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys did like this video, if you guys could give it a thumbs up or subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. And thank you all so much for the love and support on all the previous videos. It has been awesome. I love you all, and I will see you all next time. I am out.